Hello and welcome back. My name is Valentina and today we're going to be talking about leveling up as a parent. So stay tuned and let's get on it. So today we're going to cover a couple of things of how you can actually improve as a parent, how you can do better as a parent, and then by improving yourself as a parent, you can improve as a human being. So number one thing that it really does help with my children is I am very much in control of my snapping moments. I'm doing it my best. I don't know if my teens would agree that I'm doing my best not to snap at my toddlers because, it's like snapping at a little kitten that, scratched your couch. It really doesn't make any sense because I am a grown-up, I'm an adult, and I have much more control over my emotions than they do. And then it puts me into such a good mood and I'm so content and happy with myself and for them that I didn't give them that bad experience because that eliminated the, the whole drama and the crying and, everyone being in a bad mood. So whenever I get a chance, I'm really doing everything possible and impossible to hold myself together as a parent and not snap at my toddlers. Another way of leveling up is, let your children be children. Don't rush them. Don't impose always on them your schedule. Let them actually, take that break and be those children, especially when they're toddlers. They want to sleep in. They want to stay in your bed. They want to eat and watch TV. I'm not saying make a habit out of it or make it like a ritual, but let them be children. Let them actually enjoy those moments. And it's going to give you a kind of a break that you don't always have to be, on the go, when you don't always have to be, I have to be the good parent here. You can always take that break as well when they're taking it. Another way of leveling up would be present when you are interacting with your children. Like, get to their level, get to their eye level, like look interested, actually pay attention in what they have to say. You would be surprised how much information these little children hold up and how much more connected you're gonna feel to them because you actually understood what they were trying to say, and they feel much more, heard. I find that when it comes to toddlers, even if they're blubbering, when they're trying to get a point across and they're really annoyed that you don't listen, you don't even have to understand what they're saying. The main idea is to listen, to get on their level and to actually, nod your head in agreement and say, yeah, I do understand. Empathize with them. You can be an empath when it comes to being a parent. I don't see it being as a bad thing. Grow up emotionally, truly grow up emotionally and learn, I would say do learn how not to take things personally. I find that everything, people are so sensitive nowadays and everyone kind of takes everything personally and, you don't need to deconstruct everything your toddler does and you don't need to understand the reasoning behind each and one of their behavior, each and one of their tantrums. They are children and they are not always going to have a reason for their emotional outbursts. Just like you don't always have a reason when you are in a bad mood. It doesn't always have to be connected to something. So give them that benefit of the doubt. Don't necessarily assume that they are in a bad mood because of certain things you did. It's not your fault. You're doing your best. You are just a human being. So it's not always tied up to you. So don't take things personally. It's really, what's the word I'm trying to say? It's very selfish of us to assume that everything is connected to us as parents and that our children, our toddlers' behavior is connected 100% to us. It's not. Sometimes it's something happened in their own little world. Some dinosaurs didn't line up or some dolls or something. So one thing and one of the major things that really helped me and growing emotionally is not take things personally. Just don't. When you are leveling up as a parent, sky's the limit. You can improve on so many levels and there's so much room for that improvement. One of the things that I really cannot stress enough, and I think I'm always touching this topic in all of my videos, is physical activity. There are so many benefits in doing physical activity with your children. It doesn't have to be necessarily like a full-blown workout. It can be just a stretch, it can be some Pilates, it can be some running around, anything. And I always make a point to notice that, my children always follow me. Like they always are trying to imitate what I am doing. So if I'm doing a stretch or if I'm doing any kind of workout or if I'm doing Pilates, if I'm dancing, sometimes I do that. I just put on some music on TV and I encourage them to dance with me, which is a really great physical activity. Anyways, I guess what I'm trying to say is that do everything you want them to do. So if they're gonna see you doing some kind of physical activity, they will follow you naturally. You know, they're such copycatters, our toddlers. Even my teens, I look at them now because they are already grown-ups, but being physically active through all of their like childhood, they are that much more inclined to pick up any kind of physical activity. My teen son, he's at the gym, he's like a gym rat, that's how they call them nowadays, and he goes at the gym almost every day. My daughter always does some kind of physical activity, not as much as him, but that's her choice, you know. I don't force my habits onto my children's habits. I believe in connecting them, but I don't believe in forcing my, you know, life opinion and how and what they should be doing, because it's, you know, don't do as I say, do as I do. Another way of connecting with your children and connecting with yourself as a parent and improving as a parent is always to be on your teen or toddler side. Always be on their side. Never chastise them in front of people or in front of their teacher or even in front of their sibling, unless there's a topic that you need to be combined and you're trying to like give them a lecture to both of them. Other than that, any kind of lecture should be giving in private, should be giving with a very low voice so they can hear you. Screaming is not gonna help neither you or your toddler or your teen for that matter. So when you're trying to give them a lecture or teach them about a certain behavior that you didn't quite agree earlier, always make sure you do it in private. Never do it in front of people. That's gonna send such a wrong message to your toddler. But when they know that my mom didn't kind of degraded me in front of other people, in front of other children, my mom is on my side, that's gonna make your connection to your toddler that much better. I can guarantee you that. I see now my teens, and I always tell them, and I'm always gonna be that parent, that I'm always gonna be on your side. No matter what you did, you come to me first. We will deal with consequences together, but no matter what the situation is, I'm always here, I'm always gonna help, and I'm always gonna be on your side, unless, I don't know, something happens to me. So it sends a very strong message, and it teaches them to form a secure attachment as a toddler. So when they are older, they're gonna have that much less secrets from you, because they're gonna feel comfortable in sharing everything that goes on in their day-to-day life. And if they're struggling with something, or if they ran into a problem, they are gonna come to you that much easier and that much with an open heart to actually share that information, because going back to what I said, they formed a secure attachment and they know they can trust you. So always be on your children's side. I guess what I'm really trying to say is that when you are on your children's side, it sends them a very strong message that they are loved and they are, you know, the sky's the limit. The possibilities are endless and they can do that much more things in their life, because they know my mother, my father is always gonna, you know, support me and always be on my side. I was watching Kanye's West interview the other day, and in this particular interview, he said that I am where I am today because my mother always trusted me. Imagine how much you can achieve if you know that you're never gonna fail. So this is how she installed the confidence in him. She told him that he cannot fail at anything. So I think it's a little bit pushing it, but let's find the golden middle. That's what I did with my teens. I'm always doing my best to improve their self-confidence by being always on their side. So improving their self-confidence, it's gonna make them see any kind of challenge that they face in the world that much easier, because they know my backbone, my parents are always behind me, supporting me in whatever I do. So support your children. Obviously, leveling up as a parent is not an easy task, and it's always challenging because there's so many, everyone has an opinion about how a parent should act today and how a parent should educate their children. Some are saying, oh, they should just let them be if they have a tantrum and don't bother them. Another one I was reading, I was listening actually the other day, the podcast with Gabor. Did I say that right? Anyway, so he was saying that you should never, I'm gonna link it down below that particular episode. It was one of the Tim Ferriss talk shows. So basically what he's saying is that you should never let your children cry out or go through a tantrum by themselves, especially when they're toddlers. They don't know yet how to regulate themselves, and by you ignoring that tantrum and not helping them deal with their emotions is gonna send a wrong message, like they are being abandoned, you know? And we don't wanna send that message to our toddlers. We wanna make sure that they learn how to control their emotions, they learn how to regulate themselves. So do have that physical contact. That's another way of leveling up. I always have a lot of physical contact with my teens, with my toddlers. I always hug them. I always encourage them to hug each other. Not to a point that, oh, you know, I'm forcing them, but I'm always kind of offering it. So I would tell to my toddler when he goes to school, do you want to give your sister a hug before you leave, or do you want to give her a kiss? So there's always like an inclination for them that much higher to actually, you know, do that. I guess what I'm really trying to say is that physical contact is really important, and I see that because my teens are that much older now, but I always hug them, I always kiss them, I always squeeze them for a couple of extra seconds just to, you know, so they can feel protective, they can feel loved, they feel that they have me as a parent always present, always there. It sends a very strong message, and it makes them feel that much comfortable in your presence. So really do have that physical contact. I encourage it. When they're gonna grow older, you're gonna see the benefits of it. It's so nice to be hugged by your teens, even if they're like 17 years old. Okay, one more point and I'm done, I promise. So another way of leveling up is teach your children social skills. It's gonna, I don't know, it did wonders for my children. I always made it a point to actually teach my children and encourage them to say hi, to say bye, to kind of be interactive. Communication skills are extremely important, and I want them to feel comfortable talking to people, not to a point that they will talk to like strangers on the street, but be comfortable of having a small talk. How are you? When we go for family parties, or doesn't matter, always be it's you know, it's the safest, I would say, it's a more polite way to be in today's society, to actually be compassionate toward people, because you don't know how everyone's day is going, and even if they're little toddlers, they can be sometimes hurtful. But by teaching them to just have, you know, basic social skills, hi, how are you, bye, I'm good, not to raise their voice in public unless something is going on, you know. This is one thing that is really gonna bring you, if not closer, it's gonna make you that much prouder, and they're gonna feel that you are proud of them, and they're gonna wanna, you know, do it that much more often. You know, children are very intuitive and they can read you very easily. So make sure you're sending the right vibes, the right emotions, so they'll feel comfortable with whatever they're doing. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying through all of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do follow me. My name is Valentina, and I'm a single mom with 4 children, and on this channel, we are kind of learning how to combine being a mom, being a, you know, business owner, being a content creator. So stick around for any other video you might want to watch, and I'll see you next time.